we get to December and we have and it feels like the end of a marathon. And it's like, we've done all the things. Like we've stayed employed, we've the metrics, we've done the performance evaluation.
We've bought the presents.
Yes, we kept the kids fed. We did all the holidays. We planned the vacation. We did all the things in a year. We executed them. You get to the end of the year and you're like, I have to do that shit again and supposedly better. Like, Bob, somebody kill me. I have to do all the things, meet all the milestones, and I have to up the ante.
Hey, Nicole, what do you get when a former corporate CEO and a do-gooding executive walk into a recording studio?
Well, Erin, nothing, because the two of us are usually on my couch or Zoom, because wine.
You get a podcast created for Gen X women who are bought into the corporate world, but fed up with the BS.
I know. It's how to thrive the 9 to 5 or 6 or 7.
It's career therapy. It's comedy. It's definitely full-on authenticity. Basically, we give you tangible strategies to rise in your career without compromising everything else.
Because work doesn't have to suck.
Well, it's the first real Friday post holidays. It's also a week of maybe the apocalypse.
Oh my God. The universe is falling apart.
What's going on out in California is beyond catastrophic, beyond it's massively traumatizing. I'm sure I've talked to at least 7 people this week who are luckily none of them evacuated, but are all within close range and just emotionally paralyzed and just grappling with the levity of it all.
I mean, I've worked in a lot of emergency crisis response situations all over the world, and this is beyond the level of at least property level devastation that I've seen before. And look, I feel like it's an assault on our identity. Look, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a big Hollywood culture thing. I don't have some love for rich people, and I don't necessarily feel like, that bad for Heidi Montag and her reality TV boyfriend. But the truth is that these are humans and these are their lives. And they are icons. And this area is an icon of our identity. It's like no other place in the world in terms of beauty and wealth and global influence on culture. And there is history there. The Getty Museum, if that goes up in flames, that's 40,000 works of art that's gone, that we can't replace. There is culture and identity, tied to particularly, pre and post-war America. And I really feel like it is an assault on who we are as a people. Also because look, I've also heard a ton of conspiracy theory. I am surrounded by a lot of people who have really gone over the edge with conspiracy theory, which is horrible. This is the favorite one is that this is a move by the government to move people out so they can build new infrastructure for the Olympics. That's my favorite one so far. That is swimming around the internet. Yeah. No, it's swimming around on the internet, and it's really upsetting to me. Rather than being well, possibly it's a function of economic choices, right? How we have populated these areas, economic and demographic choices, climate change, fossil fuels, water usage. I don't know. I haven't studied it, but there's clearly other factors going on here. And this is not the time necessarily to contemplate all of those things, but it does feel like a bit of a harbinger in terms of how we think about where we live in the world and our footprint in it, and the things that we hold dear about these places. And then I think about the not rich people. There are not rich people that live there who are just as impacted. And it's terrifying. And I don't know what happens next. You already can't afford to live in California or insure a house. Now what happens? There are very real economic implications that everybody in this country is going to be feeling. Anybody who pays into an insurance market or pays an electricity bill or water bill will feel these things. And it is a watershed moment without the water, and it sucks.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it, honestly. Yeah. I wouldn't make light of it at all, because it's not something to make light of. And I am struggling to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I think there's lots to be seen. And then I know we're a resilient place and things will be rebuilt and whatnot, but it won't be the same.
tough way to head into the year, tough way for some of us to head into a new administration. Not that, and it's
Bloody fucking hell. Yeah.
yeah, it's
But
Yeah.
I think there's
but we control, right, our own happiness and our own lives and
The emotional support.
of course, I thought your popcorn was like popcorn. It's not. It's like
No, it's Moose Munch.
Moose Munch or whatever that is called.
Emotional support Moose Munch. Here's how today started. 6 a.m. Most of my staff called out sick, had training that I thought was like an hour and it was really a whole day. Or they're going to the funeral of one of their former colleagues who passed away very suddenly. Tragic. I didn't know her. Suddenly everybody's going to the funeral. And there was like so many shenanigans around this. Like I suspected that maybe they'd go to the funeral, but some people didn't mention it. And I was like, who's going to the funeral? Because as you know, I run a department that needs to have constant coverage on phone. So people can't just disappear. So yeah. So all of a sudden I wake up today and like nobody's working. I'm like, okay, great. I've got a battery of calls about shit that has hit the fan because we had a tough year last year and we were very distracted. And yes, some things hit the fan. Shit hitting fan today. Multiple calls, right? I'm trucking through the day largely by myself, trying to manage a bunch of shit, new employee issues. It's a Friday. Like only assholes engage on Fridays. Like, so I am already like not happy. Do you know that I unknowingly opened dick pics in my work email? Okay. What? Sent to the customer service address, which I'm covering because everybody's out. So Nicole is also the person doing customer service. I opened dick pics that were sent to that email address. What is wrong with people? They were complaining about like supposedly some kind of, harassment or whatever. And I opened this up and it's just like full bunch of dick pics. And so I close it because I'm like, oh God, I'm about to get fired for looking at some.
In case you're new to the podcast, she works for the state of Connecticut. I don't know what is.
I'm a utilities regulator. I'm an economist. I'm a utilities regulator. I oversee part of a department.
Yes.
Part of its state agency.
I just wanted to give them a context.
It is a highly quantitative job. It is a nerd job, but I also
That's not my point. My point is there's no place for dick pics.
There's no place for dick pics in your complaint about your utilities. Like there just isn't. Like I understand high bills. I understand not liking some kind of policy or process. I understand being confused about your green incentives or your EV cars or fossil fuels, or maybe you're mad. I don't know. Know your fucking audience, people. Know your audience. So obviously people are crazy. And I've been walking around with like emergency Moose Munch and Oreos, unwrapped in my pocket just to get through this week. And that was only this morning. That was like between now, like 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. So I'm doing great. I'm doing great today. I'm doing great. I haven't even been on email for about 15 minutes. I can imagine how many dick pics I've gotten since.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but it's symbolic. I think this is symbolic of something going on right now.
I mean, it's funny and
it is funny. It's me.
We need to share I know we share a lot of your sort of real-time woes. That's some of the uniqueness of this podcast. But if there's one thing I've learned, it is, look, I already preached this with my authenticity framework and all this crap, but people are so craving hearing about other people's woes and imperfection. So, last couple of weeks on social media, mostly LinkedIn, because I'm a geek and that's where I hang out. I'm noticing, which I think it always happens, but I seem to notice it more this year because there's AI that's doing like summaries of your LinkedIn, like who you are and how many impressions you had. And then people are doing their normal, like reflecting on the year and here's all the amazing things. And of course I have a bazillion speaker friends and right, like I just got done doing 100 gigs and right. And so I'm literally on the couch New Year's Day and I'm just like, I gotta imagine I'm sick of seeing it. I gotta imagine. So I just, like no planning involved, went into my photos, got the worst looking picture I could find in the last 6 months and typed in, my top 10 failures of 2024. And I'm like, I don't even know what they are, but I'm gonna, I made a list, I went to Word. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? Like I came up with 10 and it didn't take me a million years because There's lots of
Without
filters.
AI. Without AI, it was just that easy, huh?
It was just that easy. Yeah, AI can't do that. I put it into the post, and I think it's probably one of my most engaged posts I've ever had. Like rapid fire, people were like, "Thank the freaking Lord!" Like it's still getting caught. Like and so I think we want to talk today about like we have got to stop this shit of not sharing. And I'm not just talking social media and podcasts. I'm talking about in real forums, in meetings, not just one-on-ones. Like we have got to create a culture because that's the only way we're going to get through these macro moments that we're going through right now with,
That's a really good point.
That's a really good point. Moments.
Like you're right. That's a point worth repeating, though, Erin, is that like in the macro scheme of things, with so much that feels like it's anxiety inducing, uncertain, unsure, like, and we're also struggling on the micro level, like, whoa, shit.
Hey guys, Erin here. Stop. Do not do it. Don't fast forward. I have something too important. I have a couple of very passive aggressive questions to ask you that you don't want to miss. Here they are. 1, do you find yourself often comparing yourself to others? Like, they work harder than me, they get noticed more than me, they have better luck than me, they're smarter than me. Or do you also just feel exhausted from having to always work as hard, if not harder, than everybody else to stand out and succeed? I know you have these challenges. We all do. And this is why I wrote the 50% rule. And I know you need to read another book like you need a hole in the head. But I'm telling you, this book and this rule, I'm obsessed with it. And it has changed my life. It has changed the lives of others around us. And it has also been the formula for success behind so many successful people. Savannah Bananas, Hamilton, Weird Al Yankovic. The 50% rule is the simplest shortcut to stop comparing, stop copying, stop chasing other people, and like literally compete in your league of your own. There isn't a day that doesn't go by where I stop myself and I'm like, oh, she did a talk that I wish I could do. She's got more. No, it doesn't matter because we don't compete in the same league. I compete in a league of my own because I am constantly 50% ruling things. So if you're interested in this concept, which by the way is more fun as a team sport, but at least start with yourself. You cannot miss this book. It's not only powerful, it's really freaking fun to read. That is always my number one goal. It was my number one goal with my first book. It's my number one goal with the 50% rule. I want to make it enjoyable to read it. Why? So that you read it. So if you feel like you are stuck with these comparison cramps or just all the symptoms that I talk about in the book of sleep running syndrome, self-doubt gout, and pioneer paralysis, and well, you have to read the book to find out more, then just go buy the darn book. Easiest way, go to Amazon, search the 50% rule, and I cannot wait to hear how you 50% rule things.
I was thinking about this like end of year anxiety. I was like, the truth is a lot of people feel malaise. Like there is a general sense of malaise. And I think part of the I thought a little bit about this, and I don't think it's like that deep of a thought, but it took me a minute. But I thought to myself a little bit because I'm a very like time structured person, right? Like the way that my brain works. And I think of January to December is like a discrete period of time. It is culturally relevant to a lot of people, despite being scientifically relevant. It is culturally relevant. Like we talk about things a lot in terms of like the January
year, the quarter.
Right? Yes. Even if it's not your fiscal year, like January to December has a cultural hold on people, right? It does. The number of flips, all that stuff. And we get to December and we have and it feels like the end of a marathon. And it's like, we've done all the things, like we've stayed employed, we've the metrics, we've done the performance evaluation.
We've got the presents.
Yes, we kept the kids fed. We did all the holidays. We planned the vacation. We did all the things in a year. We executed them. You get to the end of the year and you're like, I have to do that shit again and supposedly better. Like, fuck, somebody kill me. I have to do all the things, meet all the milestones, and I have to up the ante. And I think that is at the root of this malaise.
It's like painting the Mackinac Bridge. It's the analogy I always use. So the Mackinac Bridge, for those that don't know, is the bridge that connects the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And it's the largest expansion bridge in the world, meaning there's no shit in the water, right? It's crazy. It's like a mind-boggling thing. And when we would go to the Upper Peninsula with my parents, I remember, I'll never forget this time, we were talking about how big it was. And I remember my mom said it. She said, the bridge is so big that when they start painting it, when they finish the other side, they go right back to the beginning and start painting all over again.
Uh-huh.
And so that's always been like the analogy I use. It just feels like painting the Mackinac Bridge, right? Like you're just,
you start right over.
Yep. Like a lot of people have like a feeling of overwhelm and dread and exhaustion. How do you deal with like the fact that you have to do all of the things and you are supposed to do them better than you did them before? Like there are ways to approach it, but it is a lot to wrap your head.
And you know how much I hate doing things normal. I hate going through the motions. And, one of the things I think about related to like exercise, one of the things I learned about myself years ago was I don't even try to like make January my time where I'm like gonna, hit it or diet, because what I found is March is kind of my time. And here's why. A few things. One, it's a little closer to swimsuit season. Part of my motivation is totally vanity.
Okay.
There's actually sunlight more than like 5 hours a day in the Northeast. Yep. So, getting up or grilling out at night, which like all the things that make healthy both for math. And it's not right after the holiday. So actually, especially for us in the North, like maybe the timing just fucking sucks. Like in the Northeast, it's like there's zero sunlight. It's cold as hell. We're exhausted from the holidays. By the way, most work cycles, what are you poor assholes doing? You're doing end of year reviews, comp cycle reviews, like
end of year, end of quarter.
If I had to say, if I didn't know anything and I had to look at sort of all the factors of work and environment.
Don't forget the annual reports. The annual reports,
right? And somebody
mine's due today.
You're coming in from outer space. What is the best? And actually, first, what is the worst time to actually have people sort of goals and get and I would say, let me look at all the data. January would clearly be the worst fucking month to do it.
Right. Anything, even just trying to get back to normal work is hard. Like my entire work schedule is not based on the January to December calendar.
But even if your fiscal year is skewed or your performance year is skewed, you end up because you want to integrate with society, you end up writing an annual report that is based on January to December. So you have huge amounts of data crunching and reporting to do. And it's all due, January 10th or whatever. And let's remember, like a lot of people take time off and it takes time. You have to come back and you can't get what you need. And, it is a really, really, really weird time. Just want to admit that it is okay to feel that way.
And the worst time, if I also was the alien coming down and looked at it and said, what's the worst time when people can flood you with fake pictures of their families, year-end reviews, just all the good things that happen, not the bad, blah, blah, blah. I would say, let me look at all the data. That would be December because it's super stressful with the holiday, et cetera, et cetera. Like I just feel like, yes, this artificial end of year, end of year recap, beginning of year, rah, goal setting, pushing, like we need to change it. Like maybe we need to schedule, you and I need to, because this will change the world right here. This is what changed. The Because, Work Doesn't Have to Suck podcast officially declares and does an episode like in April, declaring it the new, end of year, beginning of year. So,
April is when we started, but also that's when I usually do my thinking about things. It's my birthday. I often coincide my thoughts, and I have for a long time around my own birthday. It's like the gift I give to myself is to think off cycle about how I want to do and more in this year. Not at the same time as everybody else, and not while I'm competing with the rest of the world trying to do shit on January 1st. But, Erin, like I really, really thought about this because I, my anxiety is a real thing, and I have been working on myself for a very long. And um, I thought a lot about how do I not go over the edge, because I am somebody who my anxiety has driven me over the edge without me really having the words for it for a very long time.
Mhm.
And I I found myself like really in like a really difficult place this week. There's a lot going on. Even today, like things are flying at me that I just have no ability to control or contain or to even to process or wrap my head around. And there's shit that is getting missed and in life and work. And I've been kind of been thinking a lot about this. And one of the things that I've realized is that I have really pushed motivation by the side. Like motivation gets me nowhere. Like motivated to clean out my inbox, motivated to clean out my clothes, motivated to reach out to people. Like that does nothing for me. The only thing that helps me is habits,
Mm.
creating
Mhm.
habits. And I can't do that much. Like you can't do that many new habits. But like if we get to this year and we think we have to do everything and we have to do it a little better, the only way to do that is to create a really good habit. I don't care if you're talking about working out or if you're talking about keeping your inbox clean or reviewing documents more thoroughly, whatever. Like it all comes down to habit, like to
It's
carving
not
out
even
the
habit. It's not
breaking
even
things up.
habit. It's not even habits to start, I would argue. We actually had this conversation at a group I'm part of, and the science basically says don't put your goals around outcomes that you can't control and that are elusive. Put your goals around
Controls.
I'm
Definitely
going
an
to,
issue.
for example, like one of my goals is it's not how many speaking engagements I'm going to have. What I'm focusing on is every week I'm going to reach out to 5 people.
Right. That's a habit.
To make sure that they know this is what I do. Right. But it will become a habit upon repetition. And how to to me,
Right.
it's way
Exactly.
it's a habit upon repetition is absolutely you get addicted to it, right? Because you see results and you're like, oh, crap.
It's
It
the
works.
only thing you can do. Motivation is fleeting, but habits have staying power. You know, I realized at one point, like I always make fun of myself for like not being very athletic or like whatever, being chunky, whatever I am. And it dawned on me that like I've been going to the gym 3 times a week for 13 years.
Hmm.
What? Really? Like, holy shit. Imagine if I hadn't. I mean, I'm not supermodel. Imagine if I hadn't 13 years. How did I do that? With travel, with life changes, with COVID, with whatever the frig, on average, I have been doing this. Not to mention 75 modeling gigs last year. How do I do this? Every Wednesday, when the classes open up for the next 10 days, I book my same 3 classes and I fucking show up.
You just show.
And that's how I've done it for 13 years. And some days I can't make those classes. There are times. But it takes a lot for me to pull it off that calendar rather than to put it on. It is hard for me to pull it off the calendar. Even when like work, and you know me, Erin, work has always been crazy. I have always been someone who was like texting and driving, like, don't do that. Or like, you know, to the last minute being like, I have so many things, I can't pull myself away now. But for me, it's an appointment. Like, and I make choices. I definitely make choices. I'm not a morning workout person. I've tried. I'm sorry. I make choices on doing that over socializing, whatever. And maybe it has had an impact on my life in other ways that maybe are not tremendous. Maybe I've missed out on things, but I have done that.
Well, and I think the key, I hired a new coach to work with me to mostly to keep me accountable and create systems and stuff around the business development side of the business, because that is the hardest part, especially for us, like highly creative people. And we met this morning, and one of the things we're talking about was like these 4 different buckets of just places I need to nurture. For example, like former clients that hired me to speak, like there should be outreach from time to time. I have a new book. I have a new talk. I have, I'm really focusing on differentiation. And so we came up with like these 4 buckets, and I'm actually proud of myself because what I talked to her about, not that she was pushing me either way, was next week I'm just focusing on one of those buckets.
Yes.
Just one of them. Because I finally learned, and I think that's what, our listeners need to hear. Like, you have to make it smaller. Great book. And I don't say this very often about nonfiction because I'm very snarky, picky. But a great book is called Finish. It's by John Acuff.
Right.
And finish is a problem I have. I think a lot of us have, right? And one of the things he talks about, and I talk about it, I mention it in the 50% rule, is that anytime you make a goal, you should actually cut it in half. And he tells us
Really?
about a friend who was always really diligent about going to the gym, like 5 day a week or very regimented. And then he decides to up his game and he decides that he wants to do a I think it was a triathlon or maybe it was even a Ironman. I think it was an Ironman or like a half Ironman. And so he tells this story about, so then he comes up with like, okay, here's how I'm gonna have to step up my game to be ready for an Ironman. And what happens is shortly into this new routine, he fails. Like he doesn't, do the extra whatever. And instead of reverting back to where he was, which was a pretty damn good place, he actually stops going to the gym altogether. He becomes paralyzed. He becomes, obviously upset with himself for not doing it. And then he did some experiments outside of sort of the physical setting with some groups. And the same thing happened. Like when we overset our goals and then we don't meet them, it actually can be detrimental to and paralyzing to any kind of movement. And so, he basically said, anytime you have a goal, or let's say you have timing, I'm going to, like, I know you're starting to write, like maybe you're like, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to have the manuscript draft by the end of this year, like double the timing, either say I'm going to have half the manuscript ready or I'm going to have it done by the end of, 2026. And the motivation, and that doesn't mean you can't accelerate it. And I know I'm sure there's a lot of people. I was actually on the phone with a guy yesterday. He's a serial entrepreneur and he is of that mindset. Like you set a goal and you do everything it takes to get there. I don't think that's most people.
Like that's most people, not like, it's kind of like expecting everybody to be an extrovert. Like it just, the world would fucking fall apart, first of all.
Yeah.
And
miserable.
like, right? It was miserable. And if everyone was like that focused on goals and
it'd be like
relentlessly,
it'd be like an MBA group project every day of your life. And
people like that make me want to root against them. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Just kidding. I'm totally not rooting against you, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's a part of me that like really just, I'm not trying to prescribe one way of doing anything or being, if your habit is to, relentlessly go after things and that inspires you and keeps you energized and makes you achieve things, like all power to you.
Yes. And there are those people. There are
those people.
I don't think that's most of our listeners. So
no, I don't. And I think the vast majority of our listeners are people like us who actually, they exist in a very real world where they have to balance a lot of things, right? They have family obligations, work obligations, and all the things that are supposed to be amazing and fun and wonderful and joyous sometimes don't always feel that way. Like particularly looking forward to a new year. Like it doesn't always feel that way. And there doesn't have to be a deep reason for it. It doesn't have to be because somebody is sick or you're missing somebody at the holidays. Like,
right.
It doesn't have to be
abuse.
Doesn't have to be a reason to go to therapy about it. You can just feel a certain amount of malaise because of the fucking pace. And like, I sometimes just feel like, even before today, when like, shit's just coming to a head today. But hopefully no more dick pics are waiting for me in my email. But I've given my anxiety a new name. I call it Mr. Bad Decision.
That's like, it's a dude.
Like that's
it's a dude.
No, it's not a dude. It sounds like a dude, but it's just it is a man. It's a man. It is no. It's a him. I'm sorry. It's a him. Called Mr. Bad Decision, and Mr. And it's because when I'm anxious, like I am not able to fully focus on all of the things. Like my life already feels out of control. And I'm so worried about what's happening next, and I'm not able to focus on what's happening around me. And then I start doing stupid shit, like almost getting hit by a car, like jaywalking or whatever. Like the other day, it was like this train wreck of a situation where I was so distracted. I'm getting into the car from work, and in the morning, I was already stressed out in the morning, and I guess I had left an open pen in my bag. Ink went all over the bag, covered in ink. I have it on me. It gets all over my clothes. I have to go inside and change.
So I'm like, okay, I throw my bag in the wash. I grab a grocery bag. I put everything in a grocery bag. I go to work. I have an unbelievably stressful day where don't even get a second to myself to think. Throw all my stuff in the bag. I get into the car. My water bottle had spilled. My gym clothes are frozen solid. Frozen solid. All because of the grocery bag, right? But I'm committed to the routine I have. So I was like, okay. I was like, I can't think anymore about work or life. I drive directly to the gym, which is across the street from Marshall's. I run to the Marshall's and I literally have 5 minutes. I pull shit off the rack that maybe fits me, maybe doesn't. Bra, whole thing, socks, pants,
Merry Christmas to you.
Also, I'm trying to be cost sensitive here because I've got goals. And so it's all like the whole deal is like $20. You can imagine how it's going to go. I get into the gym. I throw the shit on. I walk out. I look like a matronly stripper. I mean, the bra in no way me. The shirt barely covers me. The pants, I don't know what Amazon they were made for, but like they barely covered my ass. And they had this like weird stitching that I guess was most to make my like somebody's bum look more shapely. I already have a big. I need no extra shaping. So I have like this thing going up my butt, and they're super long, and they're like yoga pants, but like it was.
Oh, are they wide leg too?
Yes, and they were made for Amazonian women, and like I've got like a muscle tank on and bras that in no way shape or form are for my size of boobs. I mean, I think I actually ripped them, and I just walk out, and the trainer's just looking at me like, what version of hell this is? And thank God it's a women's gym. My workout partner is a Hasidic Orthodox Jewish woman. She's like, has her head covered. She works out in like a burkini, like, full clothing, leggings on over a skirt. She is like the most demure person. And I just walk out and I go, well, aren't we a fucking pair today?
Hey, Erin here. So I know we talk often about this concept of authenticity as a secret weapon to success. I swear to you, my authenticity was literally the number one thing that helped me become both the CEO of a 9-figure company at the age of 42, but also that helped me lead an insanely successful financial and cultural turnaround of that same company. But I get that authenticity as a secret weapon kind of sounds fluffy, like fluffy unicorn doo-doo that leaves you wondering, what do I actually wake up tomorrow and do differently without looking stupid or getting fired? This is exactly why I put together the Authenticity Playbook for you. It gives you 10 plays or really thought starters that are simple, actionable things that will help you up your career and leadership game. To get your free Authenticity Playbook, go to beauthenticinc.com/playbook. Again, that's beauthenticinc.com, just the letter B, authenticInc.com/playbook. Or to make it simple, just scroll down to the show notes and we've got you covered with a link there too.
This is a reflection of, kind of the expectations that we put on ourselves at this time of year and that we deserve to get a handle. We deserve it. And as managers, I think in the workplace, we have to be mindful of it because we end up putting often a lot of pressure on ourselves. We want goals. We have goals to achieve. We
want to start all the new projects. We want to plan.
We need to start strong. We need to hit those goals. We need to get everybody inspired. We might have new staff, but I mean, big projects always start this year. We're doing a whole office refresh starting whenever. Everyone has to clean their cubicles out. We're going to start construction soon. I mean, there's things you control and things you don't. Folks in the middle, managers in the middle, whether you're a household manager, running the show there and or at work, like there's pressure on us from all sides, including ourselves. Like we need to, have a little grace, have a little perspective, accept the fact that like we are trying to do all the same things slightly better. And then we have to adopt some tools to make that a reality. So if we want to, we don't have to, but if we want to, and so that we feel just slightly bit more in control, because ultimately it comes down to feeling a sense of control.
Sense of control. Yes. I think it's an important message. It's permission. I'd also say like, write down your failures.
Oh God, that's a good one.
Log them. Like if nothing else, to put together, a reflective post at the end of the year to combat and change the culture, but also just to really have a chance to go back and look at them. And, we always say we learn from them, but we don't ever write them down. We don't often talk about them. We definitely don't usually document them publicly. It was really cathartic for me. I talk about humility and how powerful, and I use that, right? Like, it's part of the strategic authenticity awesome stuff I talk about.
The stuff that you authentically care about and stand for authentically.
But maybe I think that's part of my goal this year. Like, is share more failure, share more imperfection, like give that gift to everybody I know, whether it's in a one-on-one conversation or on a social media post. Like, why wait till December to give that gift? I think the gift of imperfection is a big one.
Yeah. And so I think two things. Think about a couple of things that you can start maybe thinking of as habits, like creating some healthy habits, or moving towards small habits.
Yeah.
Writing down your failures. I think that is a mind-blowing, powerful tool.
Yeah. Like, let's pull out your phone right now, everybody.
Yep.
Nicole and I can do that too.
Yep, we're gonna write down
your
notes. We're gonna follow up on this because I
2025.
Write down your failures. Because if we don't reflect on our failures, how do we ever progress? Right? We say this all the time. We need to learn from our mistakes.
First episode recorded with Nicole. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna talk about our failures. I have many. I need to think about them, and personally and professionally. But also, I often find that failures beget so much growth for me. I've talked about them a million times, right? Like,
and they're hilarious.
And one of the most popular episodes was about moving on, moving up. When I basically got fired from Avangrid, it was like my dream job, and COVID, and like my partner left, and all this dad died. All this terrible shit happened.
It is a country album in one episode.
Yes, it is. It is a country album.
It's still, if you haven't listened, Rachel put it in the show notes. She's great like that. It's a top 5 episode. And honestly, one of the things that drives people listening are like the titles, like, right, the hook, oh, I have to listen to this. What are, I really need these tips. And like, that episode was not named at all with a hook. So what that tells me is people are sharing it with other people, because that's how it's getting top 5.
Yeah. And that episode, without knowing it, that moment in my life was pivotal in so many ways that I could not have seen, right? Like, and I talk about the joy of things going wrong. That is essentially the hook of that episode, is I talk about the joy of things going wrong. And that's why I think, rather than reflecting on like our goals and our dares and our resolutions and all the shit that we're going to do different and better this year, and our strategy and our plans, maybe we talk about failures, because I think it's also incredibly personal, right? And so it does give us the opportunity to look inward about what we actually are inspired to change. Because other than motivation and habit, inspiration is different than motivation. Like, recognizing that inspiration is something, right?
So funny. One of the leaders that I coach, I'm working with a large Fortune 250 company, and I coach all of their leaders as they present for their annual conference. I did it last year as well. Really, really, really great group. And the leader of the entire organization, that is one of the themes she's going to bring to her closing, is that, inspiration versus motivation. So I couldn't agree more. And
that's another topic.
Back to this, like, failures and sharing imperfections and failures, like, we could all go and have therapy, and that's a 1-to-1 thing. But if I share my imperfections, my failures, and you share yours out to the world, and you do it in a manner that's one to many, it's not just a one-on-one conversation, social media, emails, whatever. That is a multiplier of therapy, because let's be honest, there's sometimes, not always, but there's a top 3 therapy item is just hearing about other people's shit. Not because we want bad things to happen to other people, not that we are not rooting against them, but because we are always going to bring that back to us and make us go, oh my God, I feel so much better about this that happened to me, or this that I did. And so, like, if we can do more of that throughout the year, not just to create connection and trust, which is what I talk about, but as a form of therapy.
You took
Erin, we are so on the same wavelength, even coming into this shitstorm that is 2025. Like you and I, we really do have a very weird mental connection, because that was the next thing out of my mouth, was talking about like what your version of therapy, like finding your version of therapy. And I want to add something that has been working for me as well. And I've talked to you a lot about how I am trying to hold myself accountable for my creative pursuit. And I think about things this way, particularly failures or things that feel uncomfortable or difficult, is that sometimes, and there's a lot of people here who understand the value of storytelling and how that connects with people, is maybe it's very helpful to tell yourself that whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through, is an amazing story. And someday you're going to tell that story, and you're going to think about how you tell that story. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a novel, maybe it's a funny story you tell in a group, maybe it's something you tell your children. But everything is a story. Everything's a story. So even when you're going through it, thank whatever the situation is for the story.
And the best stories, they have a plot twist. They have a ruin. They have something. They have a dive.
Thank yourself, and thank every
the universe
around you. Thank the universe for whatever story this is going to be. And it is going to be a story. And it is, all our failures and our fumbles and our stresses and our anxieties and Mr. Bad decisions and all of that stuff. Those are fabulously powerful stories that make us interesting and interested, and human. And on that note, I need to get back to the dick pics, I'm afraid.
Hey, it's Erin with a teeny request. If you have ever gotten any value from this podcast and you'd like us to stick around, plus you want it to continue to grow so we can kind of swindle bigger and more knowledgeable guests to join us, and to keep providing you with tangible and inspiring actions you can take to achieve the career and life you deserve, could you please just take 1 minute to leave us a rating and a review? Those reviews go a long way in attracting guests to the show, and candidly, they really make Nicole and I's day. We see you. We really do. So when you have the time and inspiration, we'd love to see a rating and review from you. Thank you.